Example 9 on page 615, solve this equation. X to the 4th minus 9x squared plus a equal to 0. Alright, now you know that a quadratic equation is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. This is the standard form of a quadratic equation. So the highest exponent or power of a quadratic equation is 2. Okay? The height is 2. Well, we got it to the 4th power. So this is not a quadratic equation, but we can use same idea, quadratic equation, to solve this equation. If you notice, the power of quadratic equation is reduced by 2. 2, 1, right? It's multiple of 2. So 2 and 1 different by 2, because 2 times 1 is 2. You can treat this as 2, 1, okay? And then there's no x here, mean the exponent of x is 0. For this case, we are given x to the 4th minus 9x squared plus a equals 0. Remember this standard equation? X and x squared, they are different by a factor of 2. If you take 1 times 2, you get this, right? How about this one? 4 and 2. If you take 2 times 2, this exponent here, you would get x to the 4th power. And right here, just constant, similar here. So, in a sense, if you let u equal to x squared, you can rewriting this equation in this form. Okay? So, I know it's tricky to come up with this. So, I would say the more you practice, you can see the pattern. Okay? So, let u equal x squared. This equation right here, we have x to the 4th, right? So x to the 4th minus 9x squared plus a equals 0. I'm just rewriting this equation. So, if I rewriting this in terms of x squared, I would have x squared and square outside, because 2 times 2 is 4, which is this exponent here, minus 9x squared plus a equal to 0. Now, if you replace x squared with u, you would get u squared minus 9. X squared is u, so replace this x squared with u plus a equal to 0. Now, u squared is just u squared, so you can drop the parentheses here. Now, if you see, what you got now is u squared minus 9u plus a, and this exponent 1 and this exponent 2, they are different by a factor of 2, which is similar to the standard form equation, standard form for the quadratic equation. So by letting u equal to x squared, we're rewriting this given equation to the quadratic equation. Alright, there's many ways you can try to solve this. You can use the quadratic formula to solve this, or you can factor out. So I'm going to show you the factor way. With no surprise, you learn how to factor a trinomial. So c is 8, right? C is 8. So factor of c is 2, 4, 1, 8. 4, 2 is the same as 2, 4. Now b is equal to negative 9. Since c is positive, that means factors of c will have the same sign as b, and b is negative, so all factors of c have negative sign. Okay? Now you think about what combination of these two factors, when you take the sum, will equal to b. Look like this is okay. Not this one, because you add these two, you won't get b, but you add these, minus 1, add with negative 8, you would get negative 9, okay? Alright, so I'm going to use this factor here. So factoring out u squared minus 9u's plus a, you would get u's, and adding d2 factor, okay, u plus, and then you replace the factors of c, which is -1 and -8, cancel out, you get u's positive times negative is -1, u's positive times negative is -a, so d2's are factors of this trinomial. So replacing this, for this trinomial I get u minus 1 and u's minus a. Alright, so we can use the principle of 0 because the right hand side is 0 and the left hand side are factors. That means by principle of 0, either u's minus 1 equal to 0 or this second factor u's minus a equal to 0. Solve for u, you're adding 1 on both sides. So u's 0 equal to 0 plus 1 is 1, or solve for u, you're adding 8 on both sides. This is u's, this is 0 equal to 0 plus a is 8. So you have two solutions so far, u equal 1 or u equal 8. Notice that we're given an equation in terms of x, not u, to make sure you continue because you're not done yet. So let me continue from here to here. So we have u's equal to 1 or u's equal to 8. Now what is u? U's is equal to x squared. This is the assumption that we made. So replacing u with x squared equal 1. Same thing here, replacing u's with x squared. You get this. From here, you can use the principle of square root that we learned earlier. The principle of square roots. Let me see on what page. Let's see, the principle of square roots. What section is that? Okay. It's before section 7.2, which is, let me see. Yep, the principle of square roots on page 582. Okay. Using the principle of square roots that you learn, if you have x squared equal to d, the solution is x equal to square root of d, or x equal to negative square root of d. Okay, the principle of square root. What we got here is x squared equal to some constant, and here also x squared equal to some constant. Using the principle of square root, the solution of this is x equal to square root of d, so square root of 1, or x equal to negative square root of d, which is 1. And these two are solution for this x squared equal 1. For this, you would have the solution is x equal to square root of d, which is a, or x equal to negative square root of d, which is a. Okay, so you have 4 possible solutions. Now for d2, you can rewrite it as 1. So d2, you can rewrite it as x equal to positive or negative of square root of 1. Okay. And for d2, you can do the same thing. You can rewrite this as 1. So using plus and negative side, okay, plus negative side and square root of 8. You still have 4 possible solutions, but writing this way, it looks cleaner and neat. So, you need to test when you solve these types of equations. So when you test, we are given here, the equation is x to the 4th. This is checks, okay? Checks. We're given the equation is x to the 4th minus 9x squared plus a equal to 0. And very fortunately, we're given both x, so even power. So that means you can use the two solution and check and plug it in here and check only one time, because you have a solution that is only one term, different side, but the equation has even exponent. Remember, when you raise anything to an even power, it's always positive. So even though the inside is negative, when you raise everything to an even power, it's still a positive value. So let me test this solution first. So replacing x with plus or minus square root of 1. Now, apologize for this. Now, you still can simplify this to positive negative 1, because square root of 1 is 1. Okay? And for this, you can simplify it or you can leave it as is for now. You still can simplify this, okay? But I will leave this for now because it's easier with this form right now. So testing this, I'll substituting plus or minus 1 here, raised to the 4th power, minus 9 times plus or minus 1 squared plus a. And you want to see if the left hand side equal to the right hand side. So plus or minus 1, when you take an even power, positive and negative become positive. So this is 1 minus, similar here, positive and negative 1, when you square it, it's 1, positive 1. So 1 times 9 plus 8. Now simplify. 1 plus 8 is 9. Okay, 1 plus 8 is 9. Minus 9 times 1 is 9. And you want to see, now simplify further, you have 9 minus 9 is 0, and 0 is equal to 0. So this is true. So that means this x equal plus or minus 1s are solutions. Okay, so let's test the other solution here. So we have, the equation is x to the 4th minus 9x squared plus a equal to 0. Now, similarly, the solution is only one term, and the equations are even exponent, so you can use the two solutions and check all these at once. So you only need to check once for two solutions. So x is positive and negative square root of 8, and use raised to the 4th power, and then minus 9 plus or minus square root of 8 raised to the 2nd power plus 8, and you want to see if it's equal to the right hand side. Plus or minus, when you raise to the even power, is 1. Okay, so you would have, this is, let's see how you write this. You can write this at square root of 8 times square root of 8 times square root of 8 times square root of 8, because you raise to the 4th power, minus 9, and then for this you can rewriting this as positive negative, when you raise to the 2nd power is 1. So negative 9 times, and when you square, okay, when you raise to the 2nd power of this square root of a is equal to a, okay, plus a. You still want to see if it's equal to the right hand side 0. Now, square root of a times square root of a is 8. Square root of a times square root of a is 8. Minus 9 times 8 is 72. Plus a. A times a is 64. And these two you can simplify to, let's see, negative 72 plus a is negative 64. So 64 subtract 64 is 0. So 0 equals 0 is true. So the two solution, x equal to positive negative square root of 18, are solutions as well. So there are 4 solutions for this equations, which are x equal positive or negative 1, and x equal to positive or negative square root of 18. And no surprise, right? Because you have x raised to the 4th powers. So that means no surprise that for this case you have 4 solutions for this equation. So again, there are 4 solutions. The solutions are plus 1, negative 1, plus square root of sorry, let's see, square root of 8. This is square root of 8, because a we're testing here, plus or minus square root of 8. But notice that for square root of 8, you still can simplify, okay? You can simplify this to 2 square root of 2, okay? Are solutions. Now, square root of 8, the reason you have, let's see, I can squeeze this, was for square root of 8, you can simplify to this because, think about 2 times 4 is a, right? And then 2 times 2 square is 4. And because it's 2 square, right, you can take it out of the square root because the index k is 2. So you can take this 2 square outside the square root as 2. And the remaining is this 2 because there's no exponent 2. So remaining is 2. That's why square root of 8 equal to 2 times square root of 2. So make sure you simplify square root of 8 because 8 is not a prime number. So that means you still can continue simplify as much as you can. So the four solutions are 1, -1, 2 square root of 2, and -2 square root of 2. There are 4 solutions.